Today, I'm calling for President Trump to seize the domain names of Google, Facebook, Twitter, Apple, Pinterest, Snapchat, and the other tech giants that are engaged in this systematic criminal censorship of the American people. This is an agenda of extreme election meddling. It is an anti-human rights agenda because the right to speak is a basic human right. We have First Amendment protections, protecting expression of freedom of speech, freedom of religious expression, freedom to peaceably assemble, freedom of the press, and so on in the United States. And these rights are being systematically and deliberately violated by the tech giants, which are now essentially operating as an organized insurrection against the United States of America. The tech giants are engaged in precisely the kind of election meddling that Special Prosecutor Robert Mueller has accused the Russians of engaging in. And it's clear that the tech giants will not stop until they are forced to stop. And as I've written in a recent piece published on NaturalNews.com, if the president does nothing, and if Congress does nothing, it's clear to me that eventually the people will rise up and they will occupy and overthrow the tech giants, building by building, campus by campus. I mean, I'm talking about a corporate campus here. Basically, we're talking about an all-out civil war that we hope to avoid. We don't want to see this go to violence. But as Brent Bozell of the Media Research Center says, we are now facing the greatest threat to our liberty in the history of our country. He calls it a, quote, all-out war. And it is. The tech giants are engaged in all-out war against America, and they selectively censor voices that are pro-America, pro-Constitution, pro-Trump, Christian voices. Simply expressing your religion, if you are a Christian, is now considered hate speech by the insane lunatic left that controls the tech giants. All of them, almost without exception, are now anti-America, anti-Christian, anti-free speech. So here we are. It's clear that Congress will not act, even though Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, the CDA, that Section 230 needs to be radically overhauled. These tech giants should not enjoy immunity from lawsuits if they're going to engage in selective censorship based on political views or religious views or even health views for that matter. Why are people being censored for questioning the safety propaganda on vaccines? Why are people being censored for talking about vaccine ingredients or talking about anti-cancer foods or any of these things? These tech giants have to be stopped. And if they are not put in their place by the government, it's going to come down to we the people. And again, that's a scenario that we all wish to avoid. We don't want to see an actual battle on the streets at the corporate offices of these tech companies. And I'm not calling for it, by the way. I don't want to see that kind of violence. I am concerned that that's where it's heading. This is my analysis of where it's going. If somebody like President Trump doesn't intercede here and restore basic freedoms of free speech in America. Look, we can't have a functioning democracy, or technically a republic, without freedom of speech. How can you have elections if you're not allowed to debate? The left has silenced half of every debate. They've said that you can't have your point of view, you can only have their point of view. The left has become an obedience cult, and it is a danger. It's a danger to this very republic. It's a danger to elections. We do not have fair and free elections from this day forward. Didn't have them in 2018. Google stole the elections in favor of Democrats. And that's exactly what they want to do, and they're planning on continuing doing that for the 2020 elections and every election beyond that. We have to stop them. So today I'm asking you to join me in calling for President Trump to seize the domain names of Google and Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Apple, and many others. I realize this is a nuclear option, so to speak. And I realize that this power could be abused by, let's say, a Democrat president, which would try to seize Infowars.com or seize ZeroHedge.com or even DrudgeReport.com. They might try to do that in the future. But there's no option left President Trump has the power to do this. He can declare a national emergency, and he can direct the State Department to seize those domain names. You may not know this, but they actually seize domain names all the time, mostly due to intellectual property rights violations. Online resellers of fake Gucci handbags or fake Rolex watches, and what have you. They get seized all the time. Well, it's time to seize Google.com and show them that if they are not going to respect the First Amendment, they are not going to be able to operate online at all. If you can't play by the basic social contract of allowing people to speak, then you don't get to play online, period. That's the message we need to send. And I need your help to share this idea. It's time to seize the domain names of the tech giants. I want you to write articles about this. Share my article if you want. Do video podcasts. Call your members of Congress, senators. In fact, give feedback to the White House. Call on President Trump to do this. Get the word out. Seize the domain names of the tech giants and force them to respect free speech. And by the way, I say President Trump should give the domain names back to them if they agree to stop censoring people. So it's not a permanent seizure. You do it to show them that you mean business. You start causing Google to lose $10 billion a day or whatever it is they make in terms of profits. You shut them down. And then guess what? They come to the negotiating table, don't they? And you say, look, if you're going to keep meddling in the elections, if you're going to continue to carry out voter fraud, if you're going to continue to program and provide technology to the communist enemies of America, i.e. Red China, if you're going to censor people and shadow ban people and de-index websites because you don't like their speech, conservatives and Christians and people who have dissenting views on gender fluidity, for example, or vaccine safety or what have you, or GMOs. You just tell Google, if you're going to keep censoring people, then you're not going to have a domain name, period. Now, yeah, you can launch a new domain. You can call it New Google or just Noogle.com. And guess what? We'll seize that one too. Same thing with Facebook. If you seize Facebook.com, guess what happens? The whole thing's shut down. It's over. Facebook comes to the negotiating table and you tell them you stop the shadow banning. You stop the censorship. This is how you deal with these deranged lunatic leftists, these authoritarian tyrants. Believe me, they have already declared war on humanity. They've declared war on conservatives. They've declared war on Christians and white people and gun owners and Trump supporters. They've declared war on America. You're not going to get them to voluntarily do the right thing. You have to force them. You have to force them. This is how you do it. You seize their domain names. And again, in my analysis, if Trump doesn't do this, or if Congress doesn't act, or if nothing happens, eventually it's going to come down to people. And I don't call for it, and I don't want to see it, but it's not hard to imagine this. I think Milo Yiannopoulos even predicted this, that there would be people firebombing the Facebook headquarters, something like that. Again, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see violence. But it seems to me that we're getting close to a point where a lot of people have had enough of the oppression and the censorship. We already saw that one woman with a handgun march into, I think it was YouTube offices, wasn't it? And shoot up a bunch of people. And the media tried to cover that up. She was censored by YouTube. That's why she did it. Wasn't she she was an Iranian vegan. That's why you didn't hear much about it, because she wasn't a white American Trump supporter. It was a woman. It was an immigrant, I believe, and a vegan. And she shot up the place. I fear that a lot more of that is coming. Because, again, you're taking away people's human rights, their human dignity. You're taking away their right to speak. Their basic right to express themselves as protected by the First Amendment. This is the reason our founding fathers made it the First Amendment, not the Ninth Amendment. The very First Amendment. It's the most important. And if the tech giants will not respect it, then we have to shut them down, i.e. President Trump seizing their domain names, forcing them offline until they will respect these rules, basic rules of human civility and human dignity. It's time. Read my website, naturalnews.com, my video site, brighteon.com, which hosts other videos. It's a free speech video site. And of course, you can hear more of my podcasts at healthrangerreport.com. Thank you for listening. Learn about the benefits of cacao nibs. Learn about astaxanthin, learn about resveratrol or sulforaphane from broccoli sprouts or cruciferous vegetables. All of these nutrients and superfoods and much more are available now at healthrangerstore.com. But most importantly, we are the only online retailer in the world with an in-house ISO-accredited laboratory. We test what we sell. We test for heavy metals, we test for bacteria, we test for glyphosate, herbicide, and increasingly pesticides. We have clean nutrition. healthrangerstore.com. If you want clean supplements and incredibly potent superfoods that can enhance and protect your health, healthrangerstore.com is where you find it. Thank you for watching. If you want to support our mission, visit us at healthrangerstore.com for the world's largest selection of lab-verified superfood and nutritional products for healthy living. It's at healthrangerstore.com.